Hi, welcome to the Explainer series for Quant. Here we'll be using very simple concepts and apply it to CAT level problems and solve them as easily as possible. In this session, we'll continue with the integral value solutions. We'll look at a few questions which came up in the recent CAT papers and see how to go about solving them. I would suggest pause this video, have a look at the questions. The link is available in the description of this video. Once you have tried these set on your own, then proceed with the rest of the session. Please do share this with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examinations. You can like and follow us on Facebook as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel to get live event and notifications for all the updates regarding CAT and other MBA entrance examination. You can also look at our WhatsApp as well as Telegram lists. You can join over there and we will update you. We don't spam over there. If you want, you can enroll for our Quant and LRDI courses. These are the best and the most comprehensive courses available in the market. We will continue with the integral value solutions. I would suggest if you have not seen the first part of this series on integral values, please have a look at it. The link is available in the playlist. Let's see what the first one actually tells us. The number of integers x such that 0.25 is less than or equal to 2 to the power x, which in turn is less than or equal to 200, and 2 to the power x plus 2 is perfectly divisible by either 2 or 3 is how many? Right? This is from CAT 2018, the first lot. Right? This is a mixture of indices as well as integer value solutions, as well as some application of number theory as well. Okay, it says the number of integers x should be 2 to the power x should lie between 0.25 and 200. Right? 0.25 is 1/4. Now, since x is an integer, we are looking at powers of 2. Now we know 2 to the power 5 is 32, 2 to the power 6 is 64, 2 to the power 7 is 128. Right? So 2 to the power 8 will be higher than that. So I can very clearly say that if I take it out log to the base 2, right? So it will be minus 2. 2 to the power minus 2 is 1/4, less than equal to x, less than equal to 7. So x lies between minus 2 and 7, both inclusive. Now, what is the second part of the question? The second part of the question asks 2 to the power x plus 2 is perfectly divisible by which of these? By either 3 or 4. How many values of x are there? Now, if I take x is equal to minus 2 or minus 1, it will be a fraction, right? Fraction plus 2 will again be a fraction. It will not be divisible by 3 or 4. So we are looking at powers of x from 0 to 7, right? So let's write this down. You have 2 to the power x, 2 to the power x plus 2 will be how much? So when I put x is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 2 to the power 0 is 1, 1 plus 2 is 3, this is divisible. 2 to the power 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, this is divisible by 4. 2 square is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, this is divisible by 3. 2 cube is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10, not divisible by either 3 or 4. 2 to the power 4 is 16, 16 plus 2 is 18, divisible. 2 to the power 5 is 32, 34 is neither divisible by 4 nor by 3. Then it is 64, 64 plus 2 is 66, this is also divisible by 3. Right? This is 128, 130 is not divisible by either 3 or 4. Right? So you can just count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 such cases. Right? In an exam situation, under 2 minutes to solve this. The next question, which is from CAT 2019 slot 2. This seems like a application of wavy curve method, but before you jump into it, there are options which are given to you and we just need to find one value. It says what is the largest positive integer n such that n square plus 7n plus 12 divided by n square minus n minus 12 right, is also a positive integer. So let's factorize this. N square plus 7n plus 12 can be split as n plus 3 into n plus 4. Denominator n square minus n minus 12 can be split as n plus 3 into n minus 4, right? This will be equivalent to n plus 4 divided by n minus 4, where n is not equal to minus 3. Because if we put n is equal to minus 3, right, it will become 0, and this value cannot take n is equal to 4 also. N cannot be minus 3 or 4. It can take any other value of n. Right. Now, where do we solve this? The question asks which of the value will return this value should be a positive integer as well. Right, the largest possible value. Now, instead of trying to solve it, we have the options. Let's start with the largest. We'll start with 16. If that does not work, then 12. If that does not work, then 8. And then finally 6. Okay, let's put 16 here. Your value will become 16 plus 4 divided by 16 minus 4. 16 plus 4 is 20. 16 minus 4 is 12. 20 by 12 is not a natural number. Out. Right, if I put 12 here, 12 plus 4 divided by 12 minus 4. This is 16 by 8, which is 2. Natural number. Option B, correct choice. Under 2 minutes to solve this as well. The next two questions are something which troubles students quite a bit. These are like integer pairs of a fraction like this and how to go about solving this. Again, these are pure Diophantine equations, right? I gave you a link to the Wikipedia page on the theory of these Diophantine equation in the previous video. I'll link it to this video as well. You can check that out. It says how many pairs of a and b positive integers are there. It says that a has to be less than or equal to b, and 1 by a plus 1 by b is equal to 1 by 9. Now, obviously you can use certain shortcuts, etc. But suppose you don't want to use any of the shortcuts, because these questions, probably you'll get one such question and you cannot directly use most of the shortcuts, right? Even if you do, you will not going to save a lot of time. We'll see how. Now, it says that if 1 by a plus 1 by b is equal to 1 by 9, right, what can be the values which are given to you, right? If I rewrite this relation, you'll get a plus b equals ab by 9. If I cross multiply, you'll get 9a plus 9b equals ab. Now, you express either b in terms of a or a in terms of b. So if you rewrite this, you'll get 9a equals ab minus 9b. Right, so you'll get 9a equals b into a minus 9. Or I can say b is equal to 9a by a minus 9. Now we need to find a upper bound or a lower bound for a. That will help you out. Now we know a has to be a positive integer. So we know this is a minus 9. So if a goes below 9, then b will become a negative integer. So we know a has to be greater than 9. It cannot be even equal to 9. What will be the upper bound on a? Upper bound will be when a will be equal to b. Beyond a point of time, a will start rising so much that it will become bigger than b. So if I put a is equal to b here, you'll find an approximate value of the upper bound, right? So you will, if you rewrite this, you'll get 9a divided by a minus 9 equals a. So you'll get a will be equal to 18. When a is equal to b, then a will be equal to 18. So a has to be less than or equal to 18, right? So values from 9 to 18. So essentially from 10 to 18. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Right? Now life becomes much easier. We can just substitute these values and figure out whether b will be a natural number or not. Right? If I put a is equal to 10, a minus 9 will be 1, so b will definitely be a natural number, satisfies. If I put a is equal to 11, right? If you put 11, denominator will be even number, numerator will be odd number, so 11 goes out. Similarly, 13 will go out, 15 will go out, 17 will go out, right? If I put 12, a minus 9 will be 3, definitely divisible, so done. 14, this will be equal to 5. 9 into 14 divided by 5 will not be a natural number, so out. Same with 16. 16 minus 9 is 7. No factor of 7 here, out. If I put 18, this will be 9, which will cancel it out. Job done. So 3 such values are there, right? Around 2 minutes in an exam situation also, even if you don't know the formula, what you need to do is basically find a lower bound and upper bound for one of the variables, plug it in, job will be done. Question number 4 is very similar to the previous one. This is from a slightly older CAT 2007, right? It says how many pairs of positive integers m and n satisfy where n is an odd integer less than 60. So we already have an upper bound for n. That will be a good place to work. N has to be less than 60 and it is an odd integer. So we'll try to find a lower bound for n and get the job done. If you rewrite this, you will get n plus 4m equals mn by 12. Cross multiply, I'll get 12n plus 48m equals mn. Now you can either put n over here or you can put m over here. If you put n to the right side, right, so you'll get 48m should be equal to n into m minus 12. This puts a lower bound on m, not on n, so it doesn't work. So let's do it the other way around. Let's take 48 to the other side. So you'll get 12n should be equal to mn minus 48m, which is m into n minus 48. Now this gives you a lower bound on n. N has to be more than 48 because m will give you 12n divided by n minus 48, right? So this is the lower bound, 48, right? It has to be an odd number, so the values which you can put are 49, 51, 53, 55, 57 and 59. Just as in the previous case, we can plug it in and check whether it will give you an integer. If you put n is equal to 49, this denominator is 1, so definitely will give an integer. If you put n is equal to 51, denominator will be 3. 12 into 51 divided by 3 will be a natural number, done. If you put 53, it will be 12 into 53 divided by 5. No factor of 5 in the numerator, so out. 55 also, it will give you denominator will be 7. No factor of 7 in the numerator. If you put 57, denominator will be 9. Numerator will be 12 into 57. This has a multiple of 3, this has a multiple of 3, so the product will be a multiple of 7, satisfies. And if you put 59, denominator will become 11, right? But there is no factor of 11 in the numerator, so this is out. So again, 3 values over here. Put an upper bound, put a lower bound, plug in the values, job done. The last question, which is from the previous CAT paper, which is CAT 2019, slot 2, says how many pairs of integers m and n satisfy this equation. Again, this is not a very difficult question. These type of questions come a lot. So we know m and n are integers. So if I rewrite this, you'll get m square minus n square equals 105. Right? If I split this, it will be m plus n into m minus n. This will be equal to 105. Right? We know m has to be more than n. M has to be more than n because if m is less than n, then this will be negative. Negative into a positive number cannot be a positive number. So we know m has to be greater than n. Right? So this is product of two numbers which gives you 105. So we need to basically split 105 into two factors. The smaller factor will be m minus n. Larger factor will be m plus n. So how can you split 105? 1 into 105, 3 into 35, 5 into 21, and 7 into 15. Right? The next value will be 15. This will become 7. M plus n cannot be smaller than m minus n. So 4 ways possible. Now, for academic purposes, you can actually figure out the value of m and n. For example, here, if you put m plus n equals 105, m minus n equals 1, right? If you rewrite this, you'll get 2m equals 106, m should be equal to 53, n should be equal to 52. That is one pair, right? Similarly, if you put 35 and 3, you'll get another values of m and n. If you put 21 and 5, you'll get another values of m and n. And 15 and 7, you'll get a third pair of m and n. Right? So 4 pairs of this are possible. So as we discussed, integer value solutions are not very difficult. They are almost like pattern recognition sort of questions. You understand how to go about approaching the problem. There are certain key scenarios, like for example, here we found out it is almost like a wavy curve, but once we resolved it, we were just able to use the options to solve it, right? Most of the time it is basically about finding bounds, upper and lower bound, and just substitute the values over here. Not very difficult. Don't spend too much time trying to learn formulas, etc., to solve these questions. Most of these questions in an exam situation should be done in about 2 minutes time, right? In case you do not get a hang of it, how to go about solving it in the first stage, leave it when you have done all the other questions, then come back and solve these questions in an exam situation. That completes this particular session. If you liked it, please do share it with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examination. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow our Facebook page. The links for our course are available on the description to this video. Till we meet again the next time, goodbye and all the best.